What's up, guys? Welcome back to Connected by Creatures. Zach and I don't even have to introduce this guy. He's been all over the internet the last couple days, but I've loved him before. MJ, what's going on, man? What's good?
What's up, players? How are you guys doing, man?
Fucking great, man. Doing
Yeah.
really good. It's been a good day.
Yeah, it's been a good day for sure. 100%. Couldn't say it better, bro.
Yeah, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that bullshit, man, but
Right.
you just said it's been a good day. If you have any final things you want to say about everything, we can clear the room of that and we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, what I did today sucked. It was fucking terrible. My heart goes to not only to the people who were offended and like had to deal and watch this, because I mean, dude, I'm not proud of this. I mean, I'm proud at the outcome, but I'm not proud that we had to do this as a community to make an example on adults. We're all adults. We should know how to treat people. You know what I mean? We should all know how to act. And I'm talking to myself too. So make sure, I just want to make sure you guys know I'm not, I'm talking myself included here.
Yeah, man.
So we're all adults, man. We don't need to be going through this. And I'm sorry to anyone who's embarrassed. Like, if, I know there's grown ass motherfuckers in this game who are like looking at this like, what the fuck is this? And I have to apologize to people like that. And I'm sorry that this had to happen to your hobby, to your industry. But at the end of the day, this is something where we're all grow from it, because it is happening. It is out there. It's not cool. And we should fucking address it. And if anyone really wants to do something with their brand and and literally they want to do something with their brand and they're not here to help a community, you're not going to last. Like, you're not. It just shows right here. If you're a selfish person and you don't have any compassion for what people are going through, especially with nowadays, like everyone, just because things are cool in your area, which is even rare, everywhere's fucked up right now. Like, everywhere's fucked up. So anyways, all I gotta say is if you're blessed and you need to pass the blessings versus shove them in people's faces and say, oh, look, it sucks this has happened. But anyways, what's wrong, what's right, whatever the fuck, all I gotta say is let's be better people. And I'm happy it's over. I'm so happy it's over. God bless everyone. God bless Texas. And I heard things are getting warmed up over there. I've been talking to a lot of people in Texas, and electricity's back on, power slowly getting back on. And yeah, man, God is good, man. I've been praying every night for everyone who's affected in this. But yeah, I'm glad it's over. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'm super glad it's over.
Yeah, and not just even Texas. Actually, I mean, we've got some close friends, unfortunately, that
right.
We're not going to go into the details, but in other states,
right.
that got hit really hard, that have taken some pretty major hits to their collections.
Right.
And I'm talking to him to try to get him to talk about it publicly. He's a little bit uncomfortable with it, but that information may come out a little bit later. I mean, it's obviously everything's still pretty fresh. He's like, dude, I can't even stop from crying for 2 minutes over all these animals that I had to bury. Over 100 animals. Animals of his kids and animals of his, and animals with names and stuff like that. So it's pretty brutal. And that was like the first person I've really talked to that's had it happen directly to them. And that really changed it. As real as it obviously was, just hearing that people, knowing that there were people that were dealing with this, friends of friends and stuff. It was definitely a lot more real talking to one of your buddies and like hearing him really breaking down on it. Yeah.
I do want to say though, also, man, this was such a fucking rude awakening for myself, because I'm not gonna say what he said was like, oh, some people were thinking it, even though like that is some fucked up shit people think. 100%.
Sure.
I don't give a fuck.
I understood that underlying part, because that's what some people were defending it with initially, and I'm like, I get that, because I feel the same way that like, you should have been prepared. It's like, this was like a black swan fucking event, though.
Yeah, I have the other day I had some fucking little brat girl, like she did something really disrespectful, and like I kind of thought about like, get the fuck out of my way with my foot, but I didn't go post. I didn't say, hey, I was about to kick a girl in the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has that initial like, ooh, why did I think of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Chris thought what he thought and said what he said to look cool. And he had no idea what the fuck was happening in the world. Like, he had no idea. He was ignorant. He had no idea what was happening. And as soon as he did, and he understood what the fuck went down, that's when he tried to backpedal, and it was too late. And that's why you just got to be careful. Shut your mouth. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, then just don't say anything. And this goes to me included. And yeah, man, it's just it was just bad that it happened, but it happened, and nobody's perfect, and here we are.
And I think at the end of the day, man, it's like you said. I think ultimately we're going to look back on it as having been a very positive thing in reality, and a very good thing, as much as it was kind of divisive to the hobby. Like, again, just, you know, with what you guys did today, especially, like, dude, with you bringing in Cusco and bringing in Billy, where it, like, really made it to where even if somebody that saw that had a problem with you, like, by bringing in Cusco and bringing in Billy, it's like nobody in the hobby, literally, like, there's nobody, I don't think, amongst those three people that any one person in the hobby dislikes. You know what I mean? I think that really helped to kind of bring it all together, close it out, and again, also just, like, make it a teaching moment, make it a lesson of, like, just, you know, what to do and how to deal with shit, and then just to squash it. Because it was funny, I was listening to one of Chris Eaton's podcasts earlier today. I can't remember the guest that was on. I think it was Bob Vu, and he was saying how he's like, you know, he's like, the fucking drama that happens in this hobby. And keep in mind, for those that don't know, this interview was like 2 years ago. It's like 2018. Right. And they were talking about the drama even then. He's just like, the drama in this hobby is like, if you took somebody that knew nothing about this hobby, was never involved, knew nothing about the animals and all that stuff, and you explained to them the specifics of, like, this drama and all this hate that was going on, they would laugh and be like, you guys are fucking children. Are you fucking stupid? You know, because the perspective is different. It's not personal to them.
Point. That's such a good point. And yet, you know, just to kind of capitalize, I don't want to keep reverting back to this, but just to capitalize, like, why I was so passionate and upset yesterday was because there was so much, like, dude, like, I'm talking about the energy to bring Chris down was so heavy. And I'm thinking, like, how many racist piece of shits have I seen on Facebook, and how many, like, just terrible fucking people.
Yeah. And you know what? Antoine said the same thing.
That we just let slide. We just let slide, and still, even though we don't, you know, some people don't fuck with them, they're still here. And
they never got put on blast. Just the people that originally saw it kind of saw it, and they know about it and never got blasted out.
It just shows that, are you really upset at Chris? Or are you just really, like, I mean, I get Chris fucked up. Like, he affected, but the people who are just rallying, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, dude, I bet you those are even really the people who were that, like, you know, even going through it. They're just upset for the people going through it. And that's what I'm just like, bro, listen, at the end of the day, everyone's upset. I know everyone's upset. And Chris had did a dirty thing. But fucking holding this kind of hatred, like, throughout your day, making memes, and, like, okay, I get it. Some memes were fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie, but still, like, you know what I mean? To sit there and just, like, oh yeah, drama. I'm gonna make a meme. Boom, boom, boom. Like, dude, there's got to be more to your day. And if there's not, then get a project. That's it. Get a project. Are you that bored? Get a project. Find a project. There's tons of projects out there. Get a project. Look at Marshall Mendez. Tons of projects on his story. Guy's a madman. He's awesome.
Fucking love
Look
Marshall.
Up to people like that. You know, get a project. That's it. And yesterday, I should have got a project, but I was too busy trying to fucking, you know, bash down people who were mentally fucked in the head on a damn Facebook group. And I wasted my own time, and I wasted other people's time anyways. I'm so glad that it was able to teach not only Chris a lesson, which I hope it did, Chris, teach you a lesson, because if not, then God help you. But it taught everyone, and even myself, a lesson, bro. So everyone, I hope everybody learned from this.
And that's the thing, man. Like, and I've been around you. Like, I've interacted with you in person. Like, I know how you are. Like, and for you to just say that, and to be able to say, oh man, I fucked up yesterday. I let, you know, this side of me get loose that I try to hold back. That means everything. And the one thing I want to give Chris credit for, yes, he fucked up. Yes, he made a mistake. And like I said, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this bullshit, because you've already spent the last couple days, everybody in the community spent the last couple days on this bullshit. But the one thing I do want to say, and, you know, for him, is that dude sat there and took it today on your podcast. Like, he kept his mouth shut. He didn't, you know, say anything. He didn't try to pop back. And he took what Cutco had to say. He took what Billy had to say. And whether it was, okay, I'm just going to shut up and do this, or, okay, I don't really care, fuck these guys, I'm just going to listen, he still sat there and took it. So,
yeah.
You know, and he had to.
I wouldn't have been able to do it. Not without at least making a facial expression, you know. So I would have something. You'd have known I was distraught.
I want to make it real clear that I did not ambush I did not ambush this to Chris in any way. This was all premeditated. Everything.
Yeah, because I think the way that you were. The way you were talking about it, it sounded like you had pretty well explained to him that, like, listen, man, we need you to just keep your mouth shut and listen to what these people are saying. I told him.
I was like, and I told him
before y'all even started, yeah.
And I told him, if you're not going to keep your mouth shut, we're not doing this. Like, this is something you need to just go through. You know what I mean? And that's it.
And I'll tell you what, MJ, that honestly, and again, we'll kind of close out with this. I know we keep saying that, but we really will. The last kind of thing I wanted to say, like, there's people like that I'm close friends with that don't like you. And that's fine. Like, everybody's got people that don't like them. It's no big deal. And I think you and I both know, like, you're definitely have a personality. A lot of us have personalities that are very polarizing, right? And I think Bradley mentioned, said it well. Like, we've met you in person, and so it's like there's things that you pick up on in person that, if you just saw a 15-minute clip of somebody on the internet, you might take a different perception away. Anyways, but I even had somebody that I know that doesn't necessarily care for you, and they were like, talking shit about, like, oh, did you see MJ's having Chris on? Like, I can't believe he's going to give this guy a voice and give him his platform and this, that, and the other, just for views. And it was funny as shit because when they sent me that message, I was watching it live. And I was like, because even I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, man, I don't know if that's a good idea, having him on, because I didn't know where you were going to take it. I didn't know if it was going to be like a defensive thing or whatever. But I think the way that you did it, man, when I explained it, even to this guy that doesn't like you, he was like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Oh, wow. Well, I mean, that's actually really cool that the way they did that." So it's like, if even a hater of yours could be like, "Actually, that's a really good way for him to have done that." That's awesome.
And just real quick, I mean, to the people who were mad at me yesterday, I'm not mad at you for being mad. I gave you a legit reason to be pissed. If you don't know who I was, like Chris and fucking Bradley just said, if you haven't been following me, you never met me, and there's some fucking heat on my name, and you go to my stories and just hear me call people bitches, bro, I would be like, what the fuck, too? I really would. So I didn't make it easier on myself yesterday. I could have just dropped the fact that I'm fucking having Chris on, let everyone throw a fit and just dip out.
Yeah.
But I'm not perfect. I saw the first motherfucker say some shit, which led to a million other things. And, I'm sorry for some things, but to the people who are literally the orchestrators and looking to fucking just make bigger negativity issues than they are, I don't have anything sorry that's coming your way. And I want to leave it at that. All I got to say is Chris went through what he went through. He fucked up. And if you're still out there making this a big deal, all right, and you're still making memes after something that's so fucking dead already,
well, it's just one of those things. The reality is, like I said, man, I pretty much just been crickets on the whole issue for the most part for the last few hours. Good. It seems like, which is great, and that is good. And I think people are just going to kind of move on, because it's like, at the end of the day, the market is always right, and the market is, people are going to vote with their dollars, and he'll either still be around in a couple of years or he won't. And it's, again, things are going to take care of themselves from here on.
Yeah, man.
And like you said, I think everybody's just going to be happy to not have to freaking hear about it anymore. So I think on that note, let's dive into you as a guest, man, and some shit that we would have been talking about prior to all this stuff happening. I want to know just a little bit more about your background, because I know obviously, like, you used to do the DJ thing, which is cool. We've got that kind of connection because I worked in bars. So that's just the whole service industry. What were you doing prior to that? Like, what was young MJ up to?
Before the DJing stuff, before, oh man, see, I so I came out of, college, right? So I went to one year in college. I was, I had big aspirations and dreams of becoming a baseball player. And, I got hurt, came back to San Diego, and then linked up with all my other friends who were literally just living the fast life, man. Where I'm from, cocaine rules, people fucking deal coke along with other shit. I mean, everyone has their own likings in every different place. But where I was hanging out, I was with Mexicans who we kicked it in Tijuana on the other side of the border, and we fucking dealt coke and we partied, and that's it. Yeah. And I did that from 19 years old all the way. Obviously throughout my DJ shit. That party scene brought me. That kind of scene brought me. That industry goes hand in hand. Yeah,
exactly. And I don't mean DJ specifically. I mean that nightlife, because it was the same way when I was working in the bars. Not that I was dealing it, but but I knew a guy. You know what I mean? And who the neighborhood people are.
We all know a guy.
Yeah, we all know a guy. Yeah, I don't sell drugs, but I'm still in touch. You feel me?
Right. We all know it.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll tell you what, it was. I was always looking to have a better life. I'll tell you that right now, okay? Because even though, as much as I felt cool, I was connected. You know, I was fucking getting really good shit, and I was fucking, you know, hanging out with fucking ballers, and I thought it was amazing at that time, right? But who doesn't when they're that young and fucking reckless? Anyways, the music scene came into my life, and I was like, well, now I'm talking about hanging out with people on like more of a grown up level. Like, yeah, these are more my customers, but still, like, now it's kind of, I'm phasing out of the more dangerous stuff and getting into more of, like, you know, going to LA, going to Vegas, and like playing music, because I loved music. My thing with music, I instantly always had my favorite rap songs, my favorite fucking whatever song, and I always wanted to put an 808 beat to it, or I wanted to put a house beat to it. I always wanted to mix them together, like, always. So my creativity came from, like, how everyone else does it, from original songs. Like, I just fucking found, like, my favorite verse from something, and I would geek out. And the thing is, drugs and me making music did not go hand in hand. Me waking up first thing in the morning, smoking, doing what I do with the Snakes is how I used to make my music. I used to make my music like Dr. Dre. I would wake up fucking 5, 6 in the morning, geek out until my fucking head was going to explode. And then I would either take my nap, wake up, and do it again. But that's literally how I would manage my day and make my shit. It was more like when I started partying, like once my shows would come, is when I would turn into a wrecking ball. And then I would just fucking I would either go on 3-day, 4-day, I don't know how many day ventures, and until I was able to get my shit together and do more music until my next show. So that was my pattern. Like, it was a crazy pattern. And then obviously money. You don't make a lot of money being a DJ. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know, you don't make a lot of money. Yeah, you get perks. You know, you get you know, popular, knowing people and going to places, but you're not rich. You know, you're not making money, but you want to make yourself seem like you're rich. You want to come off like you're a baller. That's
the lifestyle. Yeah,
that's the lifestyle. So I was able to do that with the drugs. Like, so I was able to keep my money going. I had jobs too. Like, I worked at Verizon for like almost 10 years. So
did you work for Verizon corporate?
Yeah, Verizon corporate for 10
years. Did I.
Yeah,
for corporate. Yeah, I was a sales rep.
Yep. So I had a job too, because I was about money, man. Like, I was good at sales, and you know what I mean. Like, getting a check at Verizon was so easy, and my managers let me pick my schedule basically because how good I was, and they're like, do what you want. So basically, I worked fucking Monday through Friday, and was able to rage fucking Friday through Monday. You know what I mean? So I just was always able to make partying a part of my life, but at the end of the day, partying was not. You know, it deteriorated what I really wanted to have in life, and that's sustainability, man. Like, it took over, and I really was just like looking for an outlet. Like, I was just looking for some sort of something to keep me, like, get me back on track, because I had a great childhood, man. My mom and dad fucking raised me, like, I was a spoiled ass kid. I got nothing but love from all my family. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to go back to that. Like, I just wanted something like that. You know what I mean? So you know, I met my wife Lily at the time, you know, girlfriend at the time, and then I was like, you know, when I found out how normal she was, you know, because it's funny, dude. A lot of reasons why I had such a crazy life, because I had fucking crazy girlfriends. Like, the girlfriends were fucking just out there, bro. You know what I mean?
And dude, again, it's so funny to me hearing all this, because it's like literally, it's like talking to almost any other person I've talked to in the service industry. Like, I swear to God, we all live this freaking same life in this little bubble of just madness. It's amazing, and it's addictive as fuck. It's super addictive. Yeah,
it's nuts. But yeah, so you know,
you met Lily.
Yeah, I met Lily, and I knew that was my first step forward to just like, man, this is your chance to fucking go the way you want to go. And it sucked. It was hard. My first 2 years not partying and not dealing with drugs and shit sucked, because obviously, like, my money, like, I had no money. Like, now I'm fucking hurting. And Lily was like, you know, I would try to be sneaky, like, hey, I'm gonna do something real quick. She's like, nah, like, you're gonna either pick me or that. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna be broke. And she's like, well, be broke then. And I'm like,
damn.
Oh my God. So I ate shit.
Yeah. But then that's uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, it was super uncomfortable. But while I was eating shit, while I was fucking, you know, it was hard. But what kept me going was looking. I was like, wow, I'm adding snakes. Like, what is happening? Like, I just started, my snake collection started adding, and then my obsession started increasing, and my, you know, the Instagram page, and, you know, people inspiring me. And that's why I give my heart to everyone who's inspired me in this game. Because of you, that's why I'm so passionate where I'm at. But anyways, that just all started building. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect any of this. You think?
Sure.
You think you would ask me 2 years ago, hey, you're gonna have a podcast, and you're gonna have some crazy shit come your way? You know, I would have been like, what's like, you know, I would have believed you on the crazy shit because I'm crazy. But I mean, you know, not the podcast, you know, but you know, things just because of this hobby and because what I was looking for. I think once I got my head out of the gutters. And I wanted something positive. Like I was literally praying for it, man. I wanted a good life, and you know, God answered my prayers. And now I'm just taking it day by day, bro. Like, you know, like I said, I'm not perfect. I have that. Okay, and I think Bradley, we touched on this a little bit, but I'm pretty sure where I come from, any kind of disrespect that has a high energy comes to your mouth, it gets dealt with. It doesn't get talked about. You get fucking fucked up. Somebody has to get fucked up. I don't care. Yep. And I'm so used to that, you know, like it drives me insane that there's so many people out there who are comfortable with fucking just verbally assassing somebody, just completely breaking. I'm not talking about wives, fucking kids. Like I'm talking about like, I don't think people understand how bad words really, really hurt. You know what I mean? And some people are easy to shed them off and like, oh, whatever. But when you have a bunch of people saying these hurtful things and it's like a rally, dude, damn, it's just different. And you know damn well, let's just say if this group chat was at a reptile show, it would not be like this. If let's just say there was no social media and this group, this Facebook community, like chatting, whatever, it wasn't in a forum. It was actually in person. Energy would be different. There wouldn't be so much hate. There wouldn't be
so many people they're not willing to talk trash. First of all, in person,
they're just depressed. They're fucked up. Yeah. They have nothing going on.
Well, there's that mob mentality too, you know, and I think the mob mentality grows way worse, you know, online because it's so easy. Because again, there's just there's that barrier. Exactly. You got that anonymity, and it's a weird comparison, but it's almost like the same way that people get road rage, you know, like people just think they're fucking invincible behind the wheel. Some people, until they step out of their car and they can punch the fucking mouth, you know, like or they get shot or whatever the fuck happens, and they step to the wrong person. That like it's the same deal. There's something weird about that anonymity, that barrier, that shield, you know?
They're just comfortable. They're really comfortable. Yeah. They know damn well what are the chances of me running into this person, really. Like, because if you think about it, the ones who are saying the most hurtful things, they don't even have a profile pic. They're not even a real person.
Well, and I think there's something to, I think there's also just, on the basis of what we're talking about, there's something to, and again, like going back to what we were saying, like I've met you in person. There's something to being able to better hear the inflection in someone's voice and see their body language, and you as human beings, like we in person, our exchange is just a lot better. That energy is better, and it's easier to really fully understand someone's personality. You know, because I've known a number of people, like one of my good friends, Carl, and I apologize, Carl, if you're watching this, he probably isn't, but he's got a really big presence in the automotive side of things, like performance cars and stuff, especially in this area. But back in the day, he was like the fucking guy. And a lot of people actually really fucking didn't like this dude. And it was because in type form, because this was back when forms were big, he came across as the biggest fucking asshole you ever heard in your life. And even in person, he's just very dry. And so a lot of people fucking hate this dude, but it was just, for people like me, I'm good at reading people. You're the same way, MJ. I think, like, again, just that sales thing, you know, just liking to talk to people. We read people really good, and I'm like, oh, no, that's just how Carl is. He just comes across that way. He's not a dick. He's actually a really fucking nice dude. And I think you're a little bit the same way. Like, just this, like, because some people are like, oh, he's so arrogant, and he just shits on people, and this, that, the other. I'm like, no, that's just the way that MJ talks. Like, there's a lot of it's, like, half joking. A lot of it's just, like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, just like exaggeration for the sake of exaggeration, and just like building hype to build hype.
But it's fucking swag, is what it is. Like, that's how.
Right. It's just an energy that you operate within,
it's just your swag, bro. Like,
and it's not meant to be an insulting or like arrogant thing. That's just the way that you are. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I will tell you, I'm going to admit right now on camera, in front of everyone, that I sometimes want to make it difficult for people not to like me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Okay.
No, you're good.
Oh, I was tripping. Okay. Anyways, I saw it back. Anyways, so I could do a better job. I know I could do a better job being like a more likable person. I just got to remind myself that even though I didn't start this to become a likable person, because if you've been following me, you know I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I really don't. But in my position now, I do care if I leave the right message. And that's
Right.
what it's all about.
And that's what it comes down to is the message.
And listen, I just come from a place because I've had a bad taste in my mouth with experiences from this hobby from the beginning. I've seen what people do to each other. I don't get involved in Facebook groups because when I do, boom, like, you know what I mean? So there's a reason why I just do my thing. I keep to my own. I meet Bradley, people like Bradley in person, and I know, oh, what's up, Bradley? Like, yeah, I fuck with you big time. That same thing. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's more genuine.
Oh, for sure.
That's more genuine than anything else. So,
and that's why I say, because man, when we met, like you walked, literally walked straight up to me, like we fucking dapped it up, fucking hug, everything's cool, like we'd known each other forever. You know, even I think we'd maybe talked once or twice, you know, through Instagram. And again, that's what I mean. It's just the in-person thing is just different. And again, I know you enough to know that a lot of the stuff that you do is like more of a persona, and it's more of just it's. And I say the same thing about Chris Eaton. It's the same way. Like if you listen to one episode of his podcast, you might have a perception of him that's totally not how Chris Eaton is.
We lost MJ.
We lost the man MJ.
Well, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
You got it.
I don't know what the fuck happened. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's all good, dude.
I was listening. The persona. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, I was just saying. I think a lot of that. Like you're online. I think it's a lot of a persona. It's a presence that you put out. And I was just saying, it's almost like a little bit of a character of yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're bigger than life. But that's it. Like at the end of the day, like you're a little bit of a performer with the podcast, and you have, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Same thing. But I was saying it's just like Chris Eaton's the same way. If you listen to one episode of his podcast or like a 5-minute clip, there would be a perception that you would get. But then, you know, if you meet him in person or talk to him on the phone, it's a totally different human being. You know, it's just a different deal.
I kind of want to continue the story though, and where we get into your animal keeping from where you were at, met Lily, and then how you got into deciding that was your path, was to, you know, MJ's Exotics, and you know.
Yeah. So basically, let's just say, so I have to give a lot of the beginnings and passion behind all this goes to a buddy I met named Victor. You know, he's a young cat. I mean, he's not too young now. This was like about 4 years ago. He's like 19 4 years ago. Now he's about like 23. So I did that right in the math? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, so dude, oh my God, man, this fucking kid was like a little, like, I don't know where he came from. He sold me a snake from Craigslist, right? I met him on Craigslist, right? Because I didn't know anything about, you know, buying snakes anywhere, but I just fucking Craigslist it. So I Craigslist it. And he's like, yeah, man, I got this really nice female, should be ready to breed. And like the whole typical talk, right? That's when the whole, like, this is how you breed them. And I'm just like, what? And he had like 3 females, and like, you know, but it was, you know, it was a lot of money. Like I had you know, at the time I had no fucking money. And he was like, yeah, you know, you know, he's telling me like, this is worth like $800. I'll do it for 300. And like, I was shitting myself because I was like, I don't have, like, someone wants $1,200 for something I don't even know how to do. Like, and at that point, I didn't care. Like, I was just in love with the animals. So I will say that my initial, and it still is, my initial love for all this was nothing that had to do with financial gain. It was because I loved the fucking animal. I could not believe I had this cool, I didn't even know ball pythons came like this. Like, I didn't understand it. So I went from getting a Mojave Orange Ghost for $75, which is, she's on her 3rd season with me now, for $75. To getting my banana, I got a banana, right? And then I got a banana. Either way, my first 4 animals were just fucking, I liked what they looked like, and I was like, ooh, let me put them together. And then I found out, like, oh, it doesn't work like that. Like, I can't put a pie to that and get a bunch of pies. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't work like that. And it took me a while to fucking learn that. You know what I mean? So, but dude, this little homie, dude, Victor, he literally put me on game, bro. Like, he still to this day, bro, I'll hit him up and be like, yo, what do you think about this? And he'll fucking be right on point. And yeah, anyways, because of him, I was able to visualize, this is what I want to do with the snakes, because of my wife, who was just like, dude, do your thing. Like, you're not selling drugs. I don't give a fuck, you know? So I'm like, all right, cool. So, because of them two, I feel like those were my very first two push into the animal scene. But it was all about ball pythons in the beginning, man. Ball pythons, and I'm not just saying this because what's happened in the last 24 hours, but as I was collecting more ball pythons and meeting more ball python people, I wasn't liking it. I was like, dude, this is cool, but I don't think I want to be a ball python breeder, like at least be known for that. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, just so you know.
Sure.
I just felt like it's too the competition, and even though it's not a competition, I just felt like I would never be satisfied as a ball python breeder.
Definitely understand.
100%, dude. I have felt that way. I feel like that a lot of times still.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because some people love that. Like, look at Will Moros. Like, I give props to Will Moros because he's an animal. Like, look what he's producing, and he's not satisfied. But that's his fucking personality. Like, Will, just keeps outdoing himself. You know what I mean?
He's literally a machine. Like,
he's a machine.
Like, just
and
he's to the point that he's like, this is my plan that I wrote out for myself. I'm following this. Like,
he executes
to a T. Yeah, he's just I planned it. Execute exactly.
Yeah. He's the kind of person you should look up to in this industry. Is Will Moros. And
100%.
Yeah. So shout out to Will.
That dude in 10 years, dude.
Yeah. He's already been doing it for 10 years.
And that's what I'm saying. Give him another 10.
Give him another 10. I'm telling you, he's on the takeover. But yeah.
Anyway, it's gonna be crazy.
I had too much respect for like the Miguels, the Aussies, the JKRs because I wanted to make if I'm doing this, I want to make an imprint. I do want to make an imprint. I don't think I was going to ever make an imprint in the ball python game. I don't. Even though I get mad props with what I make now, I just don't think I would have made any noise. The only noise I was really making was the friendships I was making. Miguel took me in under his wing, and he would tag me in all his stories and shit, and like I really looked up to Miguel, but I saw that Miguel was making moves, and he was making them on his own. So I sat back and I said, what moves can I make? What is something that I can do that I will enjoy? Because if it's not ball pythons, dude, you just met an importer. What does he have? You just met this. I just started meeting people, bro.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna kind of build up the timeline here. So after that, right after me understanding, like I've always loved chondros, right? Green tree pythons. After ball pythons, I started to figure out like, wow, you could get chondros. Like at the time I called them green tree pythons, and they are green tree pythons. It doesn't matter. But anyways, that was my next obsession. Okay, and Lily bought me my first chondro, Mimi. That's Mimi right there. So she bought me my first fucking chondro, and that's when everything switched. That's when I was like, I couldn't believe what the fuck was happening. And then I met Joe Swittalski, built a real tight relationship with him, and regardless what his reputation is, motherfucker's always taking care of me, and he put me on and really helped me build my chondro collection and whatnot. And on top of the chondros came the emerald tree boas. On top of the emerald tree boas came the Timor pythons, fucking Papuan olives. I don't know, man. It definitely got out of control for a second. I put a lot. I put a lot on my plate the first year. 2017, I almost tapped myself out. There was snakes getting out. There were snakes dying, and I don't know why. Because I went from ball pythons was a fucking walk in the park. I never had a ball python die. To this day, never had a ball python die. Knock on wood. I know it's gonna happen, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I get chondros, and no disrespect to Joe, but there were ones that just weren't good. They were fucked up, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what's happening with this? And like, very confused. And that's when I understand that the import game, it could help you, but it could also break the shit out of you. Like,
it's a roll of the dice.
Exactly. You roll the dice, and I was rolling dice, and I kept hitting, and then because anytime I wouldn't hit, Joe would take care of me. Joe always took care of me. If something came in and was fucked up, he always took care of me. And I don't know if that's because I was good friends with Forrest. Rest in peace, Forrest Fanning. But, I just knew I was in a good place with people, bro. I just knew, look, whatever I'm getting, I have mentorship. Stephen Cush, Andrew Acevedo, Socrates. I just have all these people who have my back, genuinely have my back.
Yeah, man. You got a good crew around you for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm just now I'm at where I'm at, guys. This is where we're at now. I'm doing a podcast, which originally, it's funny, man. And I'm not just saying this. You really want to know where my first idea of starting a podcast came from?
Hell yeah,
Chris Cercery.
Really?
I am not joking, and I am not saying that. You think about Chris, okay, 2017, this motherfucker was hot. Like, he was on fire, bro. Like, he had a huge fucking following. Like, I'm talking about, like, he was posting good shit. He was, like, doing lives. He had his dad involved all the time. It was really, like, that was his hot year. Shit was moving, man. And then he had an idea to do a podcast. And he's like, I want to have you be on my show. And I was like, what? Like, really? Like, oh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, and like, I remember he told me it, and I was like, just waiting for the call, like just waiting. And he never did it. Like, he never did it. And I was so upset because I just wanted, like, you know, at that time I wanted to express like my experience so far. I was already been in this game for 2 years.
And man, when somebody asks you to do that, it's so validating too. You're like, I made it. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, it could be somebody that has 5 followers. Yeah. Somebody else wants me on their shit, dude. Yeah. Yes. Like, absolutely.
It felt so good, but then you know.
Then to have it ripped away.
Yeah, it wasn't really ripped away, you know.
But you know what I mean. Like, you build it up in your head, and then it just didn't happen. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, it just didn't happen, but I always thought, like, man, Chris had this idea fucking in 2017, but like, he had this idea, like the YouTube, everything. Yeah. So, and I was like, man, I would love to do that, but at that time I was like, who the fuck am I? Like, I have no connections with anything. I don't have the balls to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And that led to me building a relationship with Forrest Fanning. And if you don't know who Forrest Fanning is, Forrest Fanning,
look him up.
You look him up. He was the owner of Cold Blooded Cafe and Rep Tech. Probably he had the nicest collection in the world. Okay, and I mean on like all around the board. I'm talking about all through all different species. Yeah. And he probably made the biggest impact in me so far. You know, just because, you know, everyone like looked up to Forrest, and I was able to like somehow get him to want to talk to me on the phone a lot. Like, it was like every day, and it was at a time. It was at a time where I remember, like, I was unhappy with my job. Like, I was also at a really bad place. But anytime I talked to Forrest, I was like, I just shut everything off, and I would just hear him talk for like 2 hours. And then, you know, eventually I kept saying, let's have a fucking podcast, bro. I was like, listen, I know you're not the face of things. I was like, you see me on my stories all the time. I was like, if I fucking promote that you're going to come on, people are going to come watch it, bro. People want to hear what the fuck you have to say. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm not really, like, I'm more behind the scenes. And I just, like, I don't know what happened, but something clicked. He's like, if you could get a logo together right now and get something together, I'll fucking do it. And sure enough, dude, I hit up my designer. He came up with the fucking right here, Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. Such a simple design.
Yeah, the
old, you know what I mean, headphones, right? So we came up. I showed him. He loved it. Yep, there it is. Yep.
Yeah.
He loved it, and dude, we went out blazing. It wasn't enough for him. He wanted to do 5 shows a week, and I'm like, dude, you're nuts, bro. He's like, no, like, we have to do it. He's like, I have this veterinarian from here. I have this person, and dude, he had a list, bro, and he. You know, he was going through some stuff too, man. We were both going through some stuff, and I don't know if we were just, you know, crutching on each other at the time, but no matter what was going on in that man's life, he showed up to every single podcast, bro. Like, and there was times where he canceled, and Stephen Cush would be like, hey, I want to do it, and Stephen Cush would hop in, and Forrest would show up. You know what I mean? So that, I don't know, man. When he passed away, I don't know if something did change in me. Like, something changed in me, but it was more of a clear vision of really what I want to do with this shit. And like, I mean, dude, really, Bell's Phase lace monitors, I'm really about to have those. And I'm not trying to rub that in anyone's faces, but Forrest was a huge monitor guy. He was a huge lizard guy. He was a huge Helodurum guy. He loved fucking Gila monsters and beaded lizards, obsessed. I didn't know that. And now I have a beaded lizard for some reason. Like, and now I'm getting monitors. Well,
he was an influence on everyone around him, is the thing.
Dude,
and so for you guys to have spent so much time, you know, talking, it's only natural. It only makes sense.
I do this shit for Forrest,
especially based on the period of when you guys did meet. I mean, you know, again, it's just, and that's, I think, just listen to your whole story, man. It's fucking cool to me, and I love hearing it, because it's like, we've all been there, I think, at some point or another in our lives. Some of us are there now, myself included, where, like, you know, you're just kind of floating, like, trying to figure shit out, trying to, you know, find that light at the end of the tunnel, you know, because it's not always there, you know, and you're trying to find that direction, that thing that grounds you or whatever. And it just sounds like to me it was like you kind of like got into reptiles, got into these snakes, and then just, you know, the combination of events that had to happen and come together for you to end up where you're at now is pretty amazing to hear. Because it's like you literally got into these snakes around the same time that you're like with your now wife Lily, who also now is pushing you to make a change to stop pouring energy into these negative things, you know, that were also things that were kind of, you know, like positive in the sense that they were keeping you afloat financially.
Right.
So you've got all these changes, all these pressures happening, and I just and then you start taking this energy and pouring it into something, again, just almost as a distraction, just these animals that you love, and then it just fucking snowballed. Like you just happened to meet Forrest, you guys happened to hit it off over music and stuff like that, you know, and then like you said, I know, man, because I noticed it literally when we lost Forrest, it was like you kicked it into fucking high gear, man. Like literally, like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And I loved that, and I really did, just in the sense of like, not to, I don't mean to like get emotional, but like he would be proud of you. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. That if nothing else, man, he would be glad to know that he had that kind of an impact on the hobby, because he is, through not just you but through all of us. You know, I reached out to a couple people the other day because I'm getting ready to start doing a weekly segment, which doesn't have really anything to do with Forrest, but it's kind of like inspired by him a little bit. I'm going to call it Calculator Cowboys. And I'm sure you heard Forrest say that numerous times, talking about Calculator Cowboys. You know, people doing the math on using the morph calculator to figure out what they might be able to hatch, and then doing the math on Morph Market to see how much money they're going to make next year or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to make it into a YouTube segment, you know. And I was asking them, I was like, hey, like, do you think it's okay that I take that phrase, you know? Because like for me it was a Forrest phrase. I'd never heard anybody else say it. And they were like, dude, they're like, if it's anything that, you know, that can be something like that preserves the memory of Forrest, like, it's good. You know, if it's anything that is an impact from him, that's fucking killer. You know.
And yeah, bro. Honestly, I think the biggest reason why I'm so adamant about wanting to change my ways with like my emotions and my anger is because if it's one thing me and Forrest would have a serious talk on, would be the way I handled myself. Because
sure,
as much as he loved me and wanted to fucking associate himself with me, like, I really made it hard for him sometimes. I didn't make it easy for him, and he still fucked with me. Like, he still like, and I found a lot about this after he died with Desiree. You know, Desiree would tell me, like, dude, like, he would get so many messages with people telling him not to fucking do a podcast with you. And I would see him stress out about it, but like, he would say, I MJ's my boy, like, I have to. And you know, I don't share that, you know what I mean? But I'm sharing it now, because that right there, if you want to know what the fuck lights me up every morning, is when I remember shit like that, when I hear stuff coming from Desiree, you know what I mean? Because I have a really tight relationship with Desiree, which a lot of people don't have. A lot of people don't know Desiree. They think they know Desiree, but they don't know Desiree. Right. And she's fucking the hardest worker, the hardest female worker I feel personally that I know in this industry. Yeah. And she's so passionate about wanting to take this, you know, because you understand, Forrest was passionate about this hobby. He wanted longevity with every species. All he wanted was to create futures for things that had no futures. That's all he wanted.
He had huge dreams. I mean, there was no joke in the fact that he was called Zoo Dreams and all that. Like, he had massive dreams. Excuse me, not just for himself, but you know, for the whole hobby, for animals, period, animals, reptiles.
Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, you got to always look at the best of things, right? And yeah, Forrest is gone. There's nothing really good about that, but my memory is the best thing I could really think about now that Forrest is gone, and his conversations about, hey man, just always remember, just kind of check yourself. Because if it's one thing Forrest would always tell me, is like, dude, you remind me of myself 10 years ago. You care about the most stupidest shit. Like, I used to make the biggest deals over like the shit that you make deal. But now I look back at it, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And here I am, literally, like, it's not even 10 years ago. It's fucking what?
Yeah.
2 years ago, and I'm like, damn, you're fucking up. You know what I mean? That's stupid. But, you know, because of people like that, I'm able to correct it. I'm able to see it. And that's it, man. Listen, I want to carry any legacy that anyone wants to carry in this hobby and take it anywhere you want. Like, I love that you guys are doing this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and as people may think I'm cocky and stuff like that, I'm to myself. I am who I am, but I don't wish anyone else not to have success. I want everyone to fucking win. I love it when I see people do lives, because I know it's not fucking easy. If anyone thinks this shit's easy right here, go fucking do it. I dare you to go do it. It's not easy. It's hard. It's really hard. I'm not even talking about the shit I did today. I'm talking about just this shit. It's not
literally
easy.
Just showing up. It's tough. It is.
Yeah,
it is tough.
So,
just in the sense of the time that it takes, and the pressure. You know, because like Bradley texted me today. He's like, dude, you didn't finish the thumbnail for MJ. I'm like, dude, I know. I had this, that, and the other going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's pressure. You know, because you got to promote. You got and you don't and it's especially pressure because it's like, for me, like, you're our guest, dude. Like, I don't want to let you down by not promoting things right. And I feel like we didn't, to be clear, and I apologize for that. You know, it's pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
And on that note, like, Zach and I have a great relationship as far as this goes. We have a really good working relationship as far as this goes, because there's no way that I would choose anybody else but Zach to do this with. And the reason why is because I feel like Zach and I we are the opposite of each other so much, but we have the same passion. Like, Zach's more of a level-headed, you know, calm and emotional person, and I'm more of, you know, a fuck it, we're gonna do this, that, and the other. And like, everything that you're saying, man, like, I could sit here and tell the exact same story, bro. Like, you know, I talked about it when I was on John Feely's live on Feely's Clutch. Like, I used to walk around with the biggest chip on my shoulder, and for no reason, I would fly off the handles and flip out on people that I love, and, you know, just everything. And it takes a lot to walk past that, man, and to build yourself away from that. And it is something that I work on every day. And with Zach, like, you know, we kind of balance each other out, and doing it by yourself, like doing these lives and stuff, like, you know, people like you and Cusco and Feely and like everybody that's doing this stuff, like, they'll tell you, like, it's more than just get on here and talk, you know, and to make it to where, and I'm not concerned about making money off of this. I'm not concerned about, you know, anything like that. I enjoy talking to like-minded people about reptiles. And I mean, right here, like, with everything that happened and everything that you're doing, you're on our show right now having an emotional conversation with us, and this is what it's all about, man. Like, that's the real shit. Like, and that's what I want this channel to be about. Like, I don't want this channel to be about anything other than the fact that, you know, we were connected by these creatures. We have a passion for animals, and, you know, we're all different people with the same passion, man. And like, I wasn't, like Zach was saying, you know, with promoting, like, it's tough, man. It's hard, you know. Like, I felt like shit because you're a big guest, and I wanted to promote more, and Zach wanted to promote more, but other things happened, you know.
Well, and you promote well too, MJ. You promote well yourself. So I'm like, fuck. There's no way I can promote our shit as good as MJ does, because he, you know, and I know that 100% comes from your DJ days.
Like, I never got booked in clubs. Like, I got booked as like the headline or the opener at like house clubs, but I was not a top 40 DJ. I was never on the mic, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know, I just was not that DJ. You know what I mean?
No, that's how my DJs were at the bar that I worked at.
Like, I'm not like, are you having a good time? Like, oh,
we were that spot. We were a college bar, and dude, you didn't even have a DJ booth. You had a table with no fucking bars, no nothing around you. So literally, you're standing in the open with people being able to walk up to you.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. It was insane. We finally built a booth because all our DJs were complaining. because you can imagine how many times a night they got asked to play my song and this,
Y'all
that,
got
and the
that
other.
new Jason Aldean?
Yeah, but yeah, no, all our DJs were the same way, man, and we kind of picked them for that. Like, we like those DJs that were like you, like they came in and did their shit.
I did become a professional at pretending I wasn't hearing somebody. I'll tell you that.
Oh, for sure.
I was so good at like just making sure. I would like make people think like I'm so concentrating, even though I have a lot all the time in the world. I just don't want to hear a fucking word you're saying right now. I would always do like.
You're like really focused in, and you can kind of see them in your peripheral, but you're just like
I'll act like someone behind them getting my attention. I'm like, whoa, what? And then I'll go back. Oh man, you just had to work around these people, bro. But anyway, I do. I just always been an outspoken person, like ever since I was a kid, bro. I've always I'll tell you one thing. I love being the captain of like my Pop Warner teams, my baseball team. Everyone relied on me to get everyone pumped up. I'll tell you that right now. And I love that. I love the beginning of the fucking football games, like underneath the field goal post. Like I was the hype man. Like I would get people pumped the fuck up. And that's what and I always carried that kind of like confidence. Like I knew, I know how to talk to people, you know what I mean? So I just always had confidence when I'm talking about, and a little bit too confident sometimes, and that's where lessons are learned. But at the same time, you got to be confident in what you're doing, man, because you're going to make mistakes, but who cares? Like, don't make, the bad mistake. There's some mistakes you just don't ever want to make, right?
No, there's some shit you can't come back from.
You can't, especially words that you say, and I don't want to keep reverting back to that, but hell, that's a really big lesson.
I think that's the reality, man. That's the reality. It is. It's a big lesson that we've all learned, and all of us, not just him, all of us.
Yeah. So just in generality, it's just like, wait, where were we going with that? Sorry, my mind just fucking went.
We were just talking. You were just talking about like being the hype man and.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
how you've always been that way, and that's just the way that you promote things. And
so I had a sense of confidence as a little kid, just growing up, and I do speak from the heart. Even if I'm wrong sometimes, everything comes from the heart with me. It really does, unless I'm angry, and then that comes from a different place. But all I gotta say is like I try to speak from experience. And I try to speak from the heart all the time. You know what I mean? Just it may not come off like that sometimes, but
and that's why I say, man. Because like I said, I think anybody that any of us that have a lot of friends or acquaintances in this hobby, we're going to know one or two people that maybe don't like you or whatever, and especially obviously right now, because like you said, again, there's some people that are still, a little pissed off over some stuff that happened, but that's fine. They'll get over it or they won't. It won't matter. But
for sure.
Well, fuck, where was I going with that, dude? I'm so sorry. What were you saying?
Good.
I got disconnected somehow, so I missed it.
Yeah, fucking.
You gotta love it when that happens.
Man, it's just
but I guess what I was just
internet.
What I was trying to say was just like, I understand that, again, like there's perception, there's reality, and so there's perceptions that can happen pretty easily with somebody like you that's got that energy or whatever, where sometimes people will take the confidence, and like you said, sometimes you might take it too far and it comes across as arrogant or whatever. And man, I've sometimes been like, fuck MJ, that was a little too far, and not said anything, just thinking it in my head. But at the end of the day, I don't really think about it beyond that, because I'm like, well, I know him, and I know that's really, I really think that's not what he meant, like I really think he probably just overstepped a little bit, because again, I get it, dude. And matter of fact, I said the same thing, and that's why I was laughing when we were talking about Forrest earlier, saying that, like, man, you remind me of me like 10 years ago. Because, dude, you remind me of myself, honestly, like, probably about the same timeline. Like, dude, when I was, like, in my 20s, dude, I was a fucking dickhead to everybody. Like, I would just, like, if somebody, literally, I'm not kidding, like, sometimes, like, I would be walking through the fucking mall, and if somebody looked at me funny, I'm like walking, like, what's wrong? What is there something I can help you with? I was just that guy. It just pissed me. I was angry all the fucking time, And not that you're angry all the time, but I understand like that temper. And man, like one of my bouncers when I was bartending, Philly, was one of my favorite dudes to work with, man, because like he was like my size, but trained up and fucking he had your back, but he had a fucking temper, man. And which was good and bad for security depending on the day. But there was this guy that was just motherfucking me and fucking calling me everything under the fucking sun. And Philly's like, dude, he's like, how the fuck did you not fucking hit that guy? Like, how? He's like, dude, he's like, you didn't even blink. He's like, it didn't phase you even for a second. I was like, Philly, I was like, man, I was like, I don't know. I was like, at some point, I was like, I overstepped, and because I used to just go fucking nuts, and I just realized that the more that I did that, the more shit that it fucked up for me. You know, I would lose relationships, lose friendships, things like that. And I was like, I think I just lost enough over being so fucking angry all the time that I realized, like, I just woke up one day, like, and I just didn't give a fuck anymore. You know, I was like, plus I consider the source of just like, who is it that's talking shit about me? Like, who is this person? Is it somebody that matters to me? Because I don't, you know, I just don't fucking get mad. Like, I mean, I do, but it's got to be pretty personal for me to get pissed, you know?
At the end of the day, man, I'm not going to ever make an excuse why I get mad, but if I get mad,
Sure.
it's something personal. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I ever got mad at somebody for giving me a weird look at a mall.
Yeah.
But I can't.
I
could tell you right now that, unfortunately, I do know what people try to do with the words that they use, and I take that very personally. So at the end of the day, that's not going to stop. That's the thing.
Sure.
It's not going to ever stop. So I'm not going to live every day mad. I'm not. But all I got to say, okay, I mean, I'm not, and this isn't like the threat or anything. I'm just saying, all I got to say, in person, you can't expect to get away with shit like that. All I got to say, you can't expect a way to be fucking talking to people the way you do.
Sure. Well,
and you should treat it like if it's in person. That's all I got to say. Don't just, I mean, because karma's a fucking bitch, and a lot of people don't understand that. I feel like Chris got a lot of bad karma today, bro. Like, a lot of bad karma. And and it happens, bro. Like, it comes. I've had a lot of bad karma. My karma still is coming from fucking like 2008. Like, it just, I have karma, bro, and I have to live with it. It is what it is. But you shouldn't put yourself in that position, and it's just not. It just isn't healthy. Like, it's not healthy. It's not. Like you said, you just fucking being angry all the time. You looking at somebody. I've been that angry for sure. I've come so far in my journey of anger.
Oh yeah.
But I was talking earlier with Bradley.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've watched it. Like, even over just the few years that I've been kind of keeping up with you and knowing you through social media and all that. Like, I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Like Bradley said earlier, like, even you just saying live today, like, openly apologizing, openly just owning your shit in front of, there was 400 some odd people on that live, plus the people that are going to watch it after. That's a huge step. You know what I mean? Like, I not to say that you wouldn't, but I don't know that I would have expected that from you a few years ago. You know, that's great, man. Yeah. Like you said, we're all work in progress, and it's everything's good, dude. I fucking love you. And
nobody's here to take back steps. You're not, like, you're in the wrong industry if you're trying to fucking make backstep progress. Like, you're not what we're here for. So,
and there's always going to be people that are going to hate and talk shit, no matter how good you are. I mean, look at Cusco, that's like one of the fucking nicest guys in the world, and he still, for whatever reason, somehow has people that talk shit in his comments once in a blue moon. I don't think it's very often, but it happens. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think you just gotta.
Fucking MJ was there when we met Brian Barczyk. Brian Barczyk's one of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life, and he gets shit every fucking day.
Yeah, and that still blows my fucking mind, because he's just such a fucking nice guy.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time. I can't wait to go back.
So, man, this has been really intense and deep and emotional. I've kind of been quiet the whole time, so I kind of want to move into our segments just to lighten it up, freshen this shit up. And so every week, guys, we do music or band musician of the week. MJ is all about music. Who you telling people to listen to this week, man? It can be old, new, anybody.
Oh, who to listen to?
Yeah,
or just who you've been listening to, whatever you want to do. However you want to roll.
All right, let me ask you: Are we talking about like, okay? Because I got moods, right? I got moods, right? So are we talking about we're talking about trap morning music, like the shit?
It don't matter.
We're talking about the shit that I bump in the morning. Okay,
it don't even matter, MJ. So to give you some examples,
personally, we'll shout them out. We'll put anything you want to throw out.
if it's like to give again just to give you something to go on, like I've literally said anything from like the emo genre to like death metal and anything literally in between. So
Dude, I've done Through the Eyes
Yeah.
of the Dead and Jodeci. Like,
yeah, like Through the Eyes of the Dead has come up, like country stuff.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
so
you're
real
good.
with you guys right now, and I haven't
Let's go.
I haven't shared. I was gonna typically go with some trap shit because like a lot of people see that I bump trap music, and
Sure.
you know, and like, you know, which is Detroit. When I say trap shit, I mean like Detroit rap artists, right?
Yeah.
Like I love the Detroit
Yeah.
game. If you really want to know what's been getting me through my days, and you know, and I don't want to get all emo on you guys, I really don't, bro.
no,
but
we
this
keep it real around here.
This
bro.
is 100% 100. I'm not joking. I fucking been bumping hella Six Dogs and hella Little Peep, like all like every morning, bro.
Okay.
And this is so not me, bro. You gotta understand. Like when I first heard Little Peep, I was like, who the fuck is like? Are you? It was just that typical like new wave. Like what the fuck is this? Is he really popular? And then he passes away, right? And then I'm like, it's still like, what the fuck's the big deal? And then Forrest passes away, right? So Forrest passes away, and Forrest passes away, and then I go to Tinley. That's when Forrest passed away like the week before we were all supposed to go to Tinley together. So emotions were super high, right? So I remember I went to Tinley, that didn't work out. I went to bar checks. I got to do a lot of things that I felt Forrest was with me about. Like, so I was like, I don't know, I was really sad and really down. And then I watched the Little Peep documentary. So Little Peep has a documentary on Netflix. What's it
I didn't
called?
know that.
Everyone's favorite or so. Everyone's
Yeah.
okay. Anyways, it's really good. I really recommend you check it out. And you know, me coming from a past where I was, you know, addicted to cocaine and other drugs, and I lived a fucking crazy fast life. That's kind of what Peep did. You know, he lived a super rock star life. And I remember hearing podcasts like the No Jumper podcast where Adam 22 called him fucking like a new era Nirvana, and I'm like, what? I was like, why'd you disrespect Nirvana? Even though a lot of real rockers don't like Nirvana. I like Nirvana. It was
I've always liked Nirvana.
Yeah, so I love Nirvana, but I was like, don't compare this guy to Nirvana. But when I watched that fucking documentary, which I was on a plane and I was like, I want to watch it. I was all depressed. I was sad. And Little Peep kind of helps you with that shit. If you're sad, his music goes hand in hand with that shit. So I watched that documentary or that movie or whatever the fuck it was. And man, I just like the music in that is what fucking just started hitting. And I made music, so I could look past what somebody looks like. I could look past their fucking, you know, their gimmick, whatever they is. And I listen for the beat and I listen to their lyrics. I listen to the way what's coming out of their the energy that's coming out of their voice, all sorts of stuff. And this kid was raw. Like this kid was so talented. His lyrics, everything was just fucking raw. And then nowadays you don't see that. Everything's bitten off each other nowadays. Right. So I totally ate crow. And I'll tell you what, man, I love that. I love when I'm proved wrong like that, especially in music. When I like think like, oh fuck that, and then I like it down the road. Oh, nothing gets me more excited than that. So I don't know what's been going on lately, man. I've been feeling Forrest in me every morning lately, like just kind of like emotionally. And when I bump Peep, I just feel like he's here with me. And I feel like my snake's in the Conjo room and a Boreal room like it. I don't know, man. My wife just like looks at me. She's like, again? And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do, man. I have like a 3-hour-long Peep fucking playlist with some Six Dogs. So Six Dogs is another guy who just passed away, who I got put on game with, who's like Peep. And his couple of his shit slaps too. But anyways, that's it, man. I've been on a weird fucking emo tip. And I admitted it. So
I like it.
Yeah. No, you're good, brother. Mine was a crazy like actual emo band, and it was like a few weeks back, and I was the same way. I'm like, I got to explain this because I always say metal bands, this, that, and the other. You guys are gonna fucking judge me, but it's this band. It was Movements, is who it was at the time. But it was the same thing. It was just like, you know what? Sometimes like that sad shit for whatever fucking reason just like brings you up in some way. You know,
yeah,
like,
it's weird.
There's something healing about it.
Yeah, it really is. But I also go through phases. I mean, at some point I'll stop bumping it, and then I'll go back to my old shit. But then, I'm all around the board, man. The only music, unfortunately, that I don't bump anymore and I don't listen to is house music. Like I like DJing it, but like I don't bump it in my trap because it just reminds me of partying. Like it literally takes me back, and I literally get goosebumps. I'm like, man, I remember like not sleeping hearing this song and shit, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to feel that. Like I just don't want to feel that. But like, you know, for instance, if I have my decks out, then I fucking love playing that shit. Like I love playing it out. But like I don't know, it's almost I get FOMO. Like it's almost like I miss it. It's weird. I miss partying. I just don't miss what partying does to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of people could do it and they're good at it. Because partying's not easy, man. If you're a partier and you've been doing it for years, God help you, man. Your body must be just fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I put myself through hell, bro. Like my 20s and shit, bro. I'm just glad I'm still here. But anyways, I just got to say that, you know, partying is like it's fun, right? Everyone loves partying, but I mean, do you want to party on your boat or do you want to party on someone else's boat?
Yeah.
Right. All right, Zach, who you got this week?
So this was one that actually came up on like a random like Spotify list, and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard this before. Like, who is it? This is one of those songs that just like comes on a Spotify list, and you're just like, oh shit, this is good as fuck. You know, the first time I heard it, and it's this band. It's called Amigo the Devil. The song I had to pull it up because there's one song, and I haven't listened to the rest. And I'm also that person where like, very often I don't like a song the first time I hear it. I have to hear it a few times to like really pick up on the intricacies and like the lyrics or whatever to find something that I really enjoy about it. But this particular song was really good. It's called Hell and You. Yeah, so that's the one. Amigo the Devil.
Amigo the Devil.
Yeah, it's a really interesting, just an interesting thing. I normally have a story to tell about the bands that I say, but this one was just literally popped up this week, and I was like, I love that, so I made a note for it to be my band of the week.
All right, so mine for the week is it's another old school, but it's different genre. Like I've been doing metal bands, been doing R&B, because like my guilty pleasures, 90s R&B, fucking Jodeci, Keith Sweat, love that kind of shit. But I'm going back further to Bootsy Collins.
Okay.
Like Bootsy Collins, man, like I can just, to me that's like driving music. And even though like I've been snowed in all week, haven't even went to work, haven't done anything, like rather be with you, you know, like just sitting and grooving to that kind of shit. Like that's got my attention this week. Bootsy Collins, man. So definitely check that out.
Oh yeah.
So segueing into the next segment, we do a movie of the week, MJ. I told you. It could be a TV show, it could be a movie, whatever. Same thing as the music. Like if you want to reach back to the past and throw something, whatever you want to do, what should people watch this week? Your suggestion?
WrestleMania 18.
So remind me of which WrestleMania 18 was.
So WrestleMania 18 was Brock versus Undertaker.
When he lost? When Undertaker lost?
Yep.
I got you.
Hard.
Yeah.
I've been going through a weird ass fucking like, you know, WWE fucking F WWE, like, you know, because I got the and ever since quarantine I was like, dude, I need to fucking, you know, keep my mind busy if I can't go anywhere. So I got the app, the network, and I was like, holy shit, they have like everything. And there was a period where I just stopped watching wrestling. Like when it got really like dramatic, like, you know what I mean, like it's like storylining. I was like,
kind
what
of
the
cheesy.
fuck? But now that I'm older and shit, I just want to follow where everything went. Like I want to see where the fuck did things go? Because
how did we get from A to B? Because you know that info's in there.
The end of DX, like right at the end of that's when I stopped watching this.
Yeah, so what's crazy too is because I took my grandpa, like my grandpa's like 93 now, right? But he's always loved wrestling. Like his thing is wrestling. Like he watches like the Lucha Libre, like the ones on like the Mexican channel and shit.
Yeah.
But he also loves like the WWF because of the girls and stuff too. So he likes both. So I took him to SmackDown, right? SmackDown came to San Diego Sports Arena, and I took him, and we had fucking front row seats. But the production is so like boom, like it was loud, and it was too much for him. Like he was like shaking, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I had to get like somebody to escort him to the very top, and he was able to enjoy it. Like he was like, "Don't worry," he's like, "You stay down here. I'm gonna be good." And like I went up back and forth to make sure he was good, but he enjoyed it from up top. But then that's when I was like really like paying attention on like, all right, who's in this still, you know? And fucking Shane O'Mac like was in it because, you know, obviously he's the CEO. He's CEO's son. Sorry, I couldn't fucking say that. CEO's son. Anyways, and there was other people, and I was like, it got my interest sparked again. But it wasn't until I downloaded the app last year when I really just started geeking things out. And then I went to the hospital too. I was in a hospital last year for like almost 6 days, where I couldn't have no visitors. I actually did a podcast in the emergency room.
Yeah, I remember that. What were you in there for again? I can't remember.
I had this emergency surgery that I needed done. That's like in a really fucked up area. Let's just say that it's not good.
Yeah.
So I had to get. It was something that I wasn't expecting to happen. And unfortunately, I'm not even done with it. I'm about to get surgery again on it, dude. It sucks. But anyways, I was in that room and I was like kind of going insane, bro, because obviously I'm thinking of my snakes. I think I had clutches coming out. I remember I had my wife on fucking FaceTime. I'm telling her how to. She pulled her first clutch out, thankfully, last year. You know what I mean? But it was tough. But what got me through it was a shit ton of morphine that they're giving me, and fucking WWF shit, and I just geeked out all over it. And it's kind of like that's what I watch, man. Because I'm a movie guy, dude. I love movies, but if we're talking about shit that I recommend that I'm watching right now, dude, WrestleMania 18, bro, straight up.
Dude, that's awesome. And I'll tell you, so like again, I've been listening to a lot of Chris Eaton's podcasts, like his old stuff, because I'm actually getting ready to do an event with him on the 26th, and then I'm going to be on his 15 Minutes to Lame. Shameless plug, sorry guys. But in one of the episodes, he mentions that he had just subscribed.
You can plug all you want.
I guess. You know me, man. I'm pretty fucking humble. Probably literally to my own demise, to my own fault. Anyways, he was talking about, I can't remember who it is that offers a subscription service though now. And he was like, you can watch all the old pay-per-views, like going back to like the early 90s, late 80s of wrestling. Like he's like every event, like every fucking event, like all the cage matches, like everything back to the beginning. And I'm debating on picking it up because I remember, like, when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, I've always been real OCD. Obviously I'm still that way for those of you guys that know. And like Dragon Ball Z was huge when I was in elementary school with all my friends. But I never watched it because I couldn't watch it from the beginning. And so I didn't know what was happening. And I couldn't deal with the fact that I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know the narrative. I don't know the story. I can't watch this shit. Fuck that. But I watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z for the first time like 10 years ago, and I've been just obsessed since. I'm like, this is amazing. This is the greatest shit ever. Why didn't I watch this?
I love that shit.
But it was the same thing with wrestling. It was around the same time, elementary school. Everybody loved wrestling, and I just couldn't get into it for the same reason that you were saying, MJ. As well. I didn't understand the narrative and that there was a story and kind of an act going on, and you know what I mean, and that they were building off of something that happened the week before. I wasn't involved, so I didn't know. But I feel like if I go back and watch it now, like especially if I go back and watch the old stuff, like Jake the Snake and all those guys, I feel like I would really enjoy it. So I'm pretty tempted to jump into that. If I do, I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, please do. Let me know. Hey, well, I will say before we get off that topic, what another sick thing about that, bro, and this is what I slept on as a kid. Because I was very like, no, I'm WWE till I die, even though I did watch some WCW when it was Monday Night Nitro. But, bro, ECW, wow.
That shit was hardcore, bro.
That's
Sandman
where
and
the real, like, grown-ups who loved wrestling at that time when we were kids loved ECW, bro.
ECW was where it's at.
There was nothing fake about ECW. They
Terry Funk.
Up. Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah.
And you can geek out. They have almost every ECW on that WWE because WWE owns all the wrestling networks now. So not all of them.
I think that's who it is. I think it's WWE that has that service, and that's what Chris was saying. And again, this was an old podcast from a couple years ago, but he was like, "Fucking everything's on here."
I love it. Yeah, WWE, get it. WWE Network. It's free for 30 days.
Oh hell! Oh dude, give me 30 days. Fuck! If I wasn't working so much, I'll fucking dive in. It's gonna be a problem while I'm cleaning snakes, especially. Fuck.
Dude, it's over. I'm telling you. I even got my wife. I was like, hey babe. I was like, come on. All right, at least watch the first females Royal Rumble. She's like, okay, I'll watch that. So she's down to watch. She's down to watch chicks go at it because it's tight. But I'm slowly getting her into the wrestling matches with the dudes. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
Okay, so before we get off the wrestling shit, I gotta when I was a kid, the Ultimate Warrior was my shit. Like my grandma gave me 2 spankings in my entire life, and I've told this, maybe not on here, but I've told this before. My grandma busted my ass twice. One time my grandma busted my ass, I walked up on her back porch with a green snake in each hand, and I was about 4 years old, and she was like, "Don't touch those," and she busted my ass. The other time, I don't know if you've ever been around a lot of logging, but loggers use this colored tape to mark out where they're going to cut their rows when they're thinning trees. And they cut this shit behind my house because I'm from the country. So I took that shit and I tied it around my arms like I was the Ultimate Warrior. And I got in my underwear and took off running across my grandma's living room and grabbed the mini blinds and shook them like the fucking ropes, like the Ultimate Warrior. Dude, my grandma lit my ass up with a wooden spoon. Like, I love the fucking Ultimate Warrior. So when the Ultimate Warrior got put in Jake the Snake's snake pit and gets bit by the cobra, and I thought he died, like, I literally cried to my family because I thought that fucking the Ultimate Warrior was dead.
I didn't like that thing. I didn't like, it's funny because I like Jake the Snake too. Like, obviously, like Jake the Snake, I used to put my ball python. I got my first ball python when I was 6, and I used to put it in my pillowcase. I would wrestle my dad. Like, you know what I mean? I would put it over and I would throw it on him and stuff. But like, I low-key hated him. I know, high key started hating him when he did that to the Ultimate Warrior because I fucking loved it. I'm a warrior. Like, Warrior was a whole. Oh my god. Okay, I know. I don't want to get too wrapped on the wrestling. My bad. But the whole
we're good. Let's keep going with this. Seriously, let's just dive in. I'm good with it.
WrestleMania 7, bro. Okay, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, the best WrestleMania,
greatest match ever
on earth, man. Wow, that was intense. I fucking love. I had an emotional moment in the fucking. In the hospital when I watched it. I think I put on my stories too. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And when Hulk Hogan lost and he's like crying and he's leaving, like that's when like basically the king got dethroned. Like Hulk Hogan like handed down his championship to the Warrior, which didn't last that long, and that pissed me off because he lost to fucking Sergeant Slaughter like fucking 2 months after that or like a year after that. I don't know. Anyways. Man, so I love talking about this, man. We should just do a wrestling podcast. That's what we should do.
Yeah,
dude, I'm about to pull this up. Hang on, Bradley. Don't add that to the stream yet. I'm about to show. So this local tattoo artist, his name's Ugly Tom. He tattooed up the street from the bar that I worked at. He drew this, and I'm gonna have to ask him if he's got prints of it.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen
a bodysuit.
It's yeah. I posted it to my Instagram. I don't know if that's maybe where you saw it. I would assume.
That's where I saw it.
But he does mostly Japanese, and so obviously it's very Japanese style. But yeah, dude, like the details are fucking amazing. I'm gonna have to ask him if he's got prints of it because I know the original. I think he sold for like a charity auction or something like that. But yeah, dude, it's such a badass piece. So like when you start talking about as soon as you mentioned Ultimate Warrior, I was like, fuck, I gotta find this picture really quick before we get off the subject.
So for those of you that don't know about Japanese tattoos, my entire back and ass is a Japanese tattoo like this. So where this splits, you're gonna have Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior on your ass cheeks, by the way.
Right in this general area. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse on the screen, but yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, I have a big Japanese back piece that does my back and ass like that. So I know all about getting those tattoos.
Hilarious.
So our last segment that we do every week, man, is our reptile of the week, and we already talked to MJ, and he kind of brought them up earlier, but I want you to dive a little deeper into the Bell's Phase lace.
Yeah, man. Wow, what a blessing. Just want to say, Jesus, man. Thank you to John and Alex over at Sim Container for giving me the opportunity and blessing me with the opportunity to work with their United States captive born and bred hatchling. So, just to kind of give you kind of the emotional roller coaster what I've been with these Bell laces so far. So, about 2 months ago, I want to say, beginning of January. I mean, for quite some time, I've been talking to Corey over at Toothless Reptiles, and he made such an impact on me, man. When I went over and checked out his facility and all his fucking monitors, it's like Jurassic Park. It is no joke, and that's kind of what the first wave of monitor love hit me. I've always loved monitors and shit, always been fascinated, but that was like the first experience. Like when he put an adult female black dragon in my hands, and I was like, what? Like, and she was gravid, full of eggs, and he's like, "Here, hold her," and I was like, "Oh my God!" And she started like just a little bit climbing, and it was like kind of pain I enjoyed. Like I was like, "I don't care, just do it." I'm a tree, just do it. Even though it hurt. Oh man, that was just impactful. So, anyways, I was like, "Hey man, I really want to." Like for 2 years, I was like, Black Dragon, and there's this. I told him when I'm ready. Like I don't know if any of you've been following me. I've been building an outdoor enclosure. You could see I'm ready. Like things are getting ready, right? So throughout this whole last 2 years, I just never been ready. So then, to speed up to this year, he's like, "Hey man, I got fucking laces. I got eggs. I got 3 eggs inside the incubator, and there's 1 egg that's not reserved. If you send me X amount of money, I'll reserve this egg, but this X amount of money is for a lace monitor." I'm like, fuck, okay, whatever. I love laces, by the way. Laces are just as sick as bells to me, in my opinion. I love laces, especially Corey's laces. Anyways, so I'm like, all right, here's this money, and let's fucking, I'm fingers crossed, man. Let me, and he's like, "I'm gonna do you one better, bro. If a bell space comes out of this, I'm only gonna charge you X amount more for the bell space." And I was like, wow, really? Okay, fuck, here we go. So this egg was supposed to hatch. Like, when I gave him the money, he's like, "All right, bro, just hang tight. It's supposed to hatch." Then next a month later, he's like, "Hey man, bad news. I had to fucking open up the egg. It never came out. It didn't make it." And he sent me a picture, and sure enough, it was a Bell's. And I was like, "Oh my God, you gotta be shitting me." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm super bummed." And I'm bummed for him too, right? Like, who the fuck wants to, have to deal with that? Like, it takes 7 months. Yeah. 7 months. 7 months for a lizard to get hatched. So imagine waiting 7 months, and it's a Bell's phase, which is the cream of the crop of all monitors. I feel like, one of them. And then it doesn't make it. Anyways, he was bummed. I was bummed. He gave me my money back. I was like just staring at my enclosure. I had the grow up enclosure ready, even though at the time it wasn't what it was now, but still, everything happens for a reason. So I was just like bummed out, just like, what am I going to do? And then sure enough, Andrew Acevedo, one of my best friends, he's literally the fucking one of the most intelligent monitor keepers I've ever come across. And he knew how bad I wanted to get involved, and he's like, "I'm going to connect you with John." And even though John is the sponsor and stuff like that, they just, what I mean, it's not easy to get a monitor from them, like even if you know them, you know what I mean. They work hard for their projects, and they're very specific on who they let their monitors to and stuff like that. So he was like, "I'm going to get you in contact with John, and I don't know if they have anything, but let's just see." So I talked to John. John's like, "Hey man, I don't personally have anything hatching out, but my partner does, Alex." And long story short, even though this is a long story, I got in a relationship with Alex, and we were able to work something out. And he's like, "Yeah man, I have 2 bell phases that are available, and then I actually have another clutch that's due to hatch like any day now." And we were able to just come to an agreement where he's going to give me a pair, not give me a pair. Don't trust me, not give me a pair, but he's
gonna get a pair your way.
he's gonna let me invest in a pair of his work and see what I can do with it. And I was telling Bradley before we went live, I just want this thing to thrive. I mean, I'm not in my head thinking, "Oh man, I can't wait to fucking breed this thing." No, man. I mean, they're male and female, and if it goes that route, well, hell yeah, man, that's a fucking home run. But if not, the fact that I get to work with these monitors and just fucking have that experience, which, a lot of people say, right? Like, let me also clarify. I had a lot of people, not a lot, but there was a small portion of people who were telling me, "Hey man, what's your experience like? I don't think you should just jump to a bell phase," or, you know what I mean? Like, really just pushing me. And honestly, like, I appreciate that kind of like concern, but the best teacher in life is experience. Experience is the best teacher. You're not going to know until you know. And I've worked with the fucking Nile monitor for almost 2 years, wild caught. I got my licks in. I've got my ass kicked. I know what I'm signing up for, okay? Yeah. And people are right, man. Monitors are serious business. They don't fuck around. They're not a snake. They are smart. They fucking, they are just everywhere.
It's a little velociraptor. Yep.
They explore. Like, one thing I still have nightmares about it is my outdoor enclosure. That shit's like Alcatraz right now, but I still feel like something could get out of it. I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. Yeah. So every day I'm working on that. Every day I'm working on that thing. I'm building a second door for it. So I'm building a door for the door. Like, there's just a lot of things I'm
I love that the double containment. That's great.
Yeah. So I mean, all I could say is I'm so excited, as you guys can tell. I cannot wait to gain some experience in it. I have the right people who have my back. Shout out to Steven Cush. Shout out to Andrew Acevedo. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to fucking, the list goes on. John. I have a lot of monitor people who are like fucking here to support me, and they're only a phone call away. I got Corey, who's 15-minute drive away, who's like super stoked for me, down to come down and check my, like, I'm in a good place. I'm lucky, man. So here we go to Bell Space. Here we go to Lace Monitors. I'm fucking stoked. Trap is booming.
I like it.
I'm excited for you, man, because we talked about it like that. Obviously, this is our reptile of the week, but literally, we talked for like probably 10 minutes before we even started this because we were both just excited about the same animal. Like that's huge, and like you said, they're hard to freaking come by because there's only so many of them made, and they're all pretty much spoken for. So it's like unless you can weasel your way onto somebody's list. It's hard to get one, let alone to be lucky enough to get a pair, and like you said, even if they don't breed, like just to have them, that's amazing.
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing. Just to experience them. That's how I feel about my dwarves and super dwarves. Because I guess in my opinion, as far as snakes, like they're the most just intelligent and like they give you feedback. You can see them thinking. You can watch them think through things.
Get a scrub python.
I'm working on an Apodora, man.
Yeah.
Get a pop one.
Yeah.
Get a scrub. Get a scrub or a pop one or a Bolins if you want to go down that route. But those right there, bro, they will look deep into your soul, and so will a white lip. But a white lip, like a scrub, you'll eventually be able to it'll look deep into your soul and it'll move past you. Go. A white lip will look deep into your soul and just fuck you up no matter what.
Just hate your guts no matter what you do.
Yeah. I mean, some of them, like, don't get me wrong, some of them, like, there are some of them, like, the older ones, like, I'm talking about the real older ones. They're really calm, but the first 5 to fucking 6, 7 years, they are just fucking just so goddamn high strung, and it's like, but you learn.
That's like a lot of young monitors. The same thing. They're just like they're wired to believe that everything wants to kill them, no matter what previous interactions there have been. They're still going to be a little bit skittish. Unless you're just super over the top careful.
Yeah.
But eventually, like they reach a certain size and maturity where they're like, oh, I'm king shit at Turd Mountain, motherfucker. You can't fuck with me. And they don't give a damn about anything after that. They're like, I'm going to be good because even if this guy does try to fuck with me, I'm just going to ruin his fucking day. And he's going to leave me alone.
Survival of the fittest, bro. They just
so eventually they just figure out, they're like, oh, I can take care of myself. It's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotta love it, man. No, I'm excited for you, man, and I've loved watching you, build the enclosure and then like make some adjustments and things like that. One thing I that just popped into my head just because you were talking about the security of enclosures and all that. What are the odds that you've been in contact with Kenan? Not to say that he knows 100%, like way better than anyone else. Kenan Harkin, Camp Kenan.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Camp Kenan Harkin. So he's got like a huge.
Ken. Oh, yeah. My bad, Ken. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forget.
No, you're good.
He spells his name with like Kennan. My bad.
Kenan. Yeah, Kenan.
My
former. My bad. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
I love that dude. That guy. He's you can tell he's his own dude, man. He's somebody.
100%.
He's somebody who man, I respect the kind of content he does because it's him. Like it's him. It's like, and he keeps his shit fucking. Like 100, bro. I do. Yeah, that guy's sick. But yeah, I mean,
and he really doesn't step outside of his own bubble either. Like he does his shit, and that's it. Like he's just like
anybody that made a living doing fucking 360 backflips on bicycles and all that shit, like.
Yeah. And it's funny because, dude, I played Dave Mirra's BMX as that's still to this day is like one of my favorite video games because of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure that video game is still probably where I first heard Sublime.
Wow.
And Kenan is in that video game as a character, but I didn't know that because obviously I only ever played as Dave Mirra because it was his game, and rest in peace Dave Mirra. But yeah, I found Kenan through Reptiles and then found out that he was a BMX rider.
Yeah.
Or retired. and the whole nine. After that, I was like, wow, how funny is that? This guy's been famous, for years and years. Had no idea who he was until I found out, or until I got interested in snakes. But no, what I was asking, I guess, is just because obviously he keeps so much of his stuff outside.
Yeah,
and his enclosures are super secure. So,
yeah.
Again, he's one of those guys I would love to see on a podcast, man, of any kind. Like obviously I have a, maybe I'm wrong. I have a feeling he's probably been asked before. I can't imagine he hasn't been.
I'm gonna reach
by
out
people.
I don't want to give you. I'm not trying to give you guys any kind of 401, but it's all I gotta say is he's definitely reachable, and you could definitely get him on. It's just the right time. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. See, and that I'll be honest. This whole entire spiel was really a selfish thing, just for me to see if he was going to be a guest on the MJ podcast.
Well, because you understand, he's a Florida.
Because I've been wanting to hear him.
Oh yeah. He's and I've been on a good streak with Florida guys, you know what I mean? Sure. And I've had and respect to all the Florida keepers, mad respect to them, because they don't care 100%. What anybody thinks. They do them. They do them, and I respect that so much. And they kind of understand the respect I have for them. So Kenan, I didn't know his name was pronounced like that, so now I do. Thank you so much.
Oh no, you're good.
But yeah, he's definitely right there, and it's all. I'm not saying, hey, no, he's mine. No, go. I'm saying, go.
No.
Reach out, go get him. You know what I mean? He's there. Yeah. He's there.
No, and that was the point of me bringing him up. Again, just that was my selfish point. That wasn't the whole point. Obviously, I still wanted to talk about him and all that, but it was a little bit of my point to try to see if you, because I guess because in the back of my mind I'm like, either Cusco's going to get him on or MJ's going to get him on, because those are just, or Chris from Snakes to the Fat Man will get him on, because I'm like, those are the people that I expect to have the big name guests, and then of course us.
Well, I have to throw it out because he told us to throw it out last week to you, MJ, when he found out you were going to be the next. We beat you to Bruce Saunders, and Bruce Saunders beat you on here, and he wanted us to give you some shit about that.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. Bruce did want us to bust your balls.
From BHB.
Oh, Bruce. Yeah, what up, Bruce? Okay, so repeat this real quick. What happened?
We told him that you were going to be the next guest because he was on here Monday.
Okay.
And, he was talking shit, saying that he beat you onto this one, and then we beat you and getting him on because you had said something about having him on your show, and he hasn't been on there yet. And he was like, so it's just funny that, y'all were lined up back to back.
You know what this means? This means when I see you next time, Brucey, it's a dab off, my man. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who the true king of dabs are. Okay, I'm talking about no wasting. I will be ready. I will bring my lungs ready, and we will settle it simply up with a dab off, and then we'll hug.
That's gonna be amazing.
I love Bruce.
I can't wait for it.
Bruce is good people, man. Shout out to Bruce.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'd never talked to him until we had him on. He just brought such good energy. He's just a positive, happy, humble guy.
Good fucking guy. His girl's awesome too. His chick's really awesome. Really good couple. And people like Bruce is why I'm happy for Brian, and I know he's in a good place.
Yeah.
Because of people like Bruce, like Jay, Brian's team is fucking really legit, and it's all about your team, man. And I hope someday I'm able to build this stuff big enough where I need a team. Right now Lily's my big fucking team, and we work great together. I don't know how I would do working with other people right now, but at the end of the day, I know Brian has done wonders. He inspires people, and I when I met Bruce, I was like, man, this guy's sick as fuck. He's definitely underrated. He's not, and I'm not saying he wants to be fucking a star, but I can tell you right now, he's definitely an unsung hero in the industry. People don't understand what kind of fucking shit this kid knows. And but hey, day by day, Bruce is already a force to be reckoned with. So people know who the fuck Bruce Saunders is, but around the board, he's going to be a lot more known. So.
Yeah, dude. Do you? Well, I don't know if I want to even talk. I'll talk to you about that later on personally. I was just gonna say, do you think that he? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask. I'll talk to you.
You can't do that to me, bro. You can't.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna do it to the people either. No, I guess I just don't want to make it awkward for whatever. Anyways, do you think that you think that a lot of Brian's employees, really miss out on the opportunity that they have in terms of because let's be honest, at the end of the day, attention is money, right? Like you can monetize attention, and you can lean into that attention and really like make something great for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can really like use social media these days to. I don't mean this to sound as sleazy as it is, but I'm just saying, like, do you think
I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Are you saying because people who work with Brian Bart, and I just want to make sure this is coming?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So are you asking? Do you think that people who work with Brian Barczyk are cutting themselves short if they ever want to make a name for themselves because they're under?
No, not that at all. No, the exactly. I was gonna say exactly the opposite. Do you think that they are cutting themselves short by not like screaming about themselves from the mountaintops?
Oh, got you. Oh,
because Bruce is so humble to the point it almost bothers me because I'm like, dude, like if you would post on Instagram and post on YouTube, like I would watch all your shit.
At the end of the day, man, this right here, what we're doing is not for everybody, bro.
Yeah.
And they're cool with that. I'm pretty sure Bruce has his adrenaline. Like he gets, and I'm just assuming this.
Yeah.
I've never been to Bruce's house or anything.
I got the same feeling.
I'm pretty sure when this motherfucker has his venomous out and he's working with them, that's his happy time. He's probably in some crazy mode and zone. I mean, just because people are happier off camera doesn't mean that they don't eventually want to start getting on camera.
Sure.
Because I'll tell you one thing, ever since I started my podcast and I've had guests on, I've had them coming to me saying, hey, I actually want to start coming out on camera more. And that's great.
Oh, that's legit.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, that's legit. Yeah.
I just don't think, I think with a lot of people that I've met on Brian's team right now are just happy to be working with Brian.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about a channel. And this is just my assumption because look at fucking Noah. Noah does his own damn thing. Noah hustles.
Yeah.
And dude, nothing is given to Noah, bro. That motherfucker does everything on his own with his own channel, and he works. And it's work as we're talking podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Work.
It is.
YouTube,
absolutely is.
YouTube is even more work, bro. That shit is tedious. It makes my head hurt.
Monster.
Dude,
it's a monster.
Nuts.
People have no idea.
So at the end of the day, dude, you know, I'm not trying to say people are just limiting themselves. They're just happy doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point they'll say, fuck it. What can I do to take this to the next level? But I mean, if I'm going to make a good example, Eric Chambers, shout out to my boy, Eric Chambers.
Yes.
That
Eric and Mary,
motherfucker,
they're fucking great, dude.
He felt really torn when he left BHB, right? And he was like, man, what about the people who loved seeing me on Brian's channel, my viewers? And
dude.
I was like, dude, come out with the channel. And he did. And, you know, he gave it a fucking good go. Not that it's, like, done, but, like, he only did that to make the people happy.
Yeah. Well, and what people don't understand, too, is how hard that jump is for him because...
He's never done it. He had no idea
Exactly.
what to do.
You're talking about going from the production level of a channel that when he was there had 2.5 million people watching it. It's almost 3 now. It's like 2.9.
Eric Chambers is so, like, fucking, like, in the woods type fucking, like, you know, like, in the cuts.
Right.
Not technology savvy whatsoever.
And again... You're talking about a guy who's never edited a video, and so his audience was people from that are used to seeing him on Barczyk's channel. That's done to such a high level of production, it's almost impossible to recreate on your own. Not one person who's never posted a YouTube video before.
Making YouTube videos is a motherfucker.
Yes, and that's that's what I mean.
And that's why I love this. Because
Yeah.
I can be myself. I can sit and bullshit with y'all. We can talk about snakes. We can talk about music. We can talk about whatever. But me sitting here with a camera trying to talk to myself and edit shit and make
It's
it
hard.
like just showing my animals and stuff like that. It's a motherfucker. That's why I only put out videos ever so often when I go on trips with fucking Cusco. And it's not because I think I'll get more views just because I'm with Cusco and Dave Kaufman and, you know, MJ or whoever. I fucking suck at sitting in my house making a goddamn video. I made a video the other day. I built the indoor-outdoor enclosure for my iguana. It's fucking dope-ass enclosure. But I can't make myself sit and edit the video because I feel like a jackass talking to myself there. Well, I'm going to cut this board at fucking 1.47. Like, I just feel ridiculous. This shit's hard, man.
It takes reps, man. It definitely takes reps, for sure. And even with reps, and not that I have a ton of reps, I'm still not I'm not posting right now. I haven't posted a video in a few weeks.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I do want to say real quick, I know Dylan is really adamant about wanting to do a dab off with me, and he thinks he could wipe the floor. And I will tell you what, man, I got to pick and choose my dab offs. So if I know I have a couple months in stretch, I'll do one against you, Dylan. Then I do need my lungs to recuperate. But honestly, I got documentation, bro. You know what I did last year on 420? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember what I did last year on 420? I did like, this was like 7 a.m. I was all stoked. I remember
I tuned into it.
Okay, I fucking had like my coat on, everything, bro. I literally did a 1 gram dab of some fucking expensive ass shit. I don't know what I was thinking, but I literally did a 1 gram dab, and it was like I destroyed myself. I was that whole day. I don't even remember most of that day, so I kept that video so I could even remember what happened in the beginning of that day. But fuck,
and so you can remember to never do it again.
Yeah, dude, honestly, dude, there's a lot. Yeah, I regretted that. I really did, because my day was just completely a waste. Like, it was a whole waste. And I haven't. That's my typical like beginning 420 experiences as a kid. I would fucking get super ripped the first 15 minutes, eat, and then I'd wake up and like, what time is it? Like, fucking. That's it.
Like
my 420's gone.
Somebody made a joke video the other day about like, oh, we're gonna day drinking. Like we're gonna day drink. We're gonna fucking party. We're carrying this shit into the evening, like all night long. We don't give a fuck. Let's do this. Let's go. All hyped up at like 10 a.m. having your first beer, and then it was like by 5 p.m. you're fucking taking a nap. You wake up. You eat a pizza. And you're like, fuck. Yeah. I just want to go to bed again. Like, I'm done. I'm toast. I'm cooked.
Yeah, that's why there's 2 different levels of being high for me. But you know, if me in the morning, like if I have coffee and I smoke, those 2 things together, whoo, they just fucking. It's kind of like I'm the kind of guy who could get really high and go work out. Like my workouts are really great if I'm super high. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But like a certain time of the day, like, you know, like around this time, if I were to smoke and eat, oh, I'm out. Like I'm out. Like something just changes in my energy with smoking.
Sure.
And that's why, like, it works for me, man. And I'm not saying smoking works for everybody. Like, I don't.
No, you gotta have your thing.
I don't smoke to be cool. Like, smoking just helps me. Like, I have an addictive personality. Like, you know, coke used to be my thing and whatnot, but I don't do that anymore. And weed actually, you know, makes me a more enjoyable person. Even you know, if weed wasn't helping me, my wife would not be letting me smoke every day. Trust me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? She only wants the best for me. And so, but yeah, you know. Shout out to all the weed heads.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times, I think the other thing that's and this is a weird kind of observation, but it is I think factual, that I think a lot of people don't realize that there's different strains too that affect you in different ways. So like like if you smoked some shit that you bought off of fucking Jimmy in high school, you know, and that made you feel X kind of way, like that's just one experience that you have with something that, you know, is like it's it doesn't even count really at, you know, based on where we're at today, on because like I remember talking to a buddy of mine the first time he went out to California, and he's like, dude, he's like, you know, I go to the smoke shop, he's like, it's my first experience, and they're like asking me like what kind of an experience I'm looking for, this, that, and the other, and he's like, I didn't know that there's weed that will literally give you energy. He's like, I literally felt like pepped up after I smoked it. Like, he's like, obviously I was still fucking high, but he's like, I wasn't like, I didn't really have the munchies that bad. He's like, and I wasn't like drowsy or like zoned the fuck out. He's like, I was honestly just like in a better mood, blah blah. But so I think that's the other side of things, is that people just don't understand like that not every fucking dab that somebody takes is gonna fucking ruin them for the next 6 hours, you know, depending on what the goal is, you know.
Exactly.
It's an interesting thing.
100.
You kind of choose your result, which I love.
Man, MJ, I appreciate you coming on here, bro. Like this has been fun as fuck. Like it got heavy at the beginning. It got emotional.
Yeah,
I love the fact. No, dude, I love the fact that, you know, you were real enough to come on here and get emotional and be real with us. Keep it 100, like you say. Like I you know, that's fucking awesome, man, and I appreciate it.
Much love.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait till the next time, you know, we get to hang out, do whatever.
For sure.
And, you know, next time you call me fucking Brian Cusco's roadie, we're going to have issues.
Did I call you a roadie?
On fucking Barcheck's podcast.
Dude, I was high. I was.
Oh, y'all were doing ninja kicks outside right before that shit.
Yeah, I was lit, and man, that was a fun time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back there. Definitely looking forward to hanging out with you again, Bradley and Zach. And man, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you're doing. It's good to know that there's other people out there who are fucking as passionate as I am, and they want to just go ahead and just build a community. And whatever you guys are building, whatever I'm building, whatever John Feely, Chris Eaton, whatever everything is just building together. You know what I mean? And I don't want anything divided. You know what I mean? And I know we didn't talk about this much, but like even I had an episode on someone else's podcast where I lashed out on Nerd, and and that's something I'm really embarrassed about. You know what I mean? Because Kevin McCurley's someone I really look up to and whatnot, and they have a lot of good things going on. Just because I don't really vibe with his team and whatnot, even though I fuck with Rob. Shout out to Rob. I really fuck with Rob. Just so you know, Rob, I love you, bro. You are diehard to me, anyways. But all I gotta say is they're doing big things as well. They have their podcast. They have their community that they're building, and all that matters, man. Everything matters. That's all I gotta say. There's no one person better than the other. There's no one group better than the other. There's nobody better than anyone else. I don't give a fuck who you are. We're not better than anyone else because we do podcasts. Yeah. It's as simple as that. We're all the same person. That's it. We're all human. We all and before I stop my rant, this is about the animals. Make this about the animals. It's about the animals. That's why we're here. That's why we're connected by creatures for a reason. I love that name, by the way, because it makes a lot of sense. We're connected by creatures. We're not connected with the because we fucking want to build friendships. Even though it's about friendships, it's about the animal shit.
At the end of the day.
Animal shit.
That's why we love each other. Like we've talked about it on this channel. Like that was the whole premise. Is like literally all of us. Like we've had so many people, even guests on here that we've had long talks with publicly, like on the internet, are like, I am not a social person. I don't like make friends with people easily. But they love this hobby, and because we love the same shit that they do, they're drawn to us, and we're drawn to each other, and because it's you already have that common ground before you've ever even spoken a single word to each other. You already know that, these people like snakes and they like reptiles and they're into this and that and the other thing, and so you have that connection already built out, even though you've never spoken a word to this person, and that makes all the difference in the world, man. But yeah, and I'm laughing to myself too, because that last little bit that you just said there, MJ, like that's you, and that's the you that I know. The whole like my podcast is not better than anybody else's. Like I'm not better than anybody else. Like we're all in this together. We're all, just that positive bit. I know that's genuine, and I know that's who you are, and that's who I met in Arlington, and like I love that about you. Even if sometimes you piss me the fuck off, but with some of this shit you just go way over the top with, where I'm like, God damn it, if you just take a deep breath. But my point in saying all this is just I know that there's going to be some people that won't watch this because they're like, oh fuck this MJ guy, he's such an arrogant fucking asshole, he thinks he's the best at everything. I would hope and fucking pray that somebody sees this last couple of minutes and really the whole thing, because man, you've been fucking great this whole time, and I guess my point is just I really fucking hope that the people that are out there that have beef with you, that don't like you, I hope that they'll take a fucking minute to just consider the fact that like perception is not always reality, and sometimes you got to really give somebody some time and some respect and some understanding up front to then realize just how fucking good of a person they are, and because you are, man, you are a fucking gift to the hobby. You're a gift to the community at the end of the day. And again, and I say this as somebody who, when I first fucking saw you, I didn't know how I felt about you. I'm like, fuck, I don't know, like this guy seems a little conceited or whatever, like initial impression, and then I'm, but again, if I can say this, I just hope that more people can come around to that, and that also you'll keep going on the path that you're going, man, because I told you, like I've seen you improve, I've seen you get better, I've seen you become more self-aware. I see it all the time. I think that's what calmed me down more than anything, and stopped me from being angry all the time, with just my self-awareness and just like really being able to step outside my own head, and kind of observe myself and just say, hey, like, is this behavior something that's like conducive to the person that I want to be tomorrow or the next day or next year or 5 years or 10 years from now? But no, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of success. You've already got a lot of success that's well deserved, and I know you're gonna continue to improve. And I'm excited to see where you go, man.
Thanks, man.
It's good.
And just real quick to capitalize on the whole beef thing, man. You know, I know I probably haven't made it easy to like me, but I mean, even though I say I don't give a fuck who likes me, who doesn't like me, for your own sake, just let go of the beef. Who gives a shit? I mean, if you don't like me, don't follow me. That's fine. It's simple as that.
It's that easy. Yeah.
It's so easy to mute somebody. It's so easy to unfollow somebody. I've been really good at that. And what's helped me with my anger is by not following certain people.
Yep.
It's just muting people. It's very easy.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's very easy, and I don't ever take anything personal. I'm not asking, you know, like, I love my followers. Don't get me wrong. Respect, love all my followers, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, you guys don't pay my bill. The followers don't pay my bills. My real relationships that I build in the DMs, those are the people that I really build my shit with. And anyone else who comes along for the ride, respect. Thank you for being here. But at the end of the day, man, if you don't like what I'm doing, if you don't like the channel, if you don't like Zach's channel and Bradley's channel, just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. You don't need to go talk shit about it, because I mean, it just shows that you got nothing else to talk about. You got no projects. Get a project. I'm gonna start saying that from now on. If you're bored, get a project. Just get a project from now on. Hashtag get a project.
Yeah, and we've come full circle. You know, like I was saying earlier, the market will decide. And the market is always right. I don't care what anybody says. I listen to a lot of business podcasts and stuff like that. So when I say the market, I mean literally the market. Literally the market. You vote with your dollar. You vote with your time. Everything you do is an investment. Whether it's time invested in watching and listening to somebody's shit, or it's money invested in buying animals from that person. We all vote with our fucking dollars, the way I like to think about it. And the market is always right. So if you don't agree with some shit, if you don't agree with a person, or you don't like them, then you make your own vote, you make your own decision, and you can have your own impact in that way. And you'll be right or wrong, because either that person will continue to be successful, and guess what? It is what it is. It is what it is. That's just the world. But no, I mean, I this has been fucking great. I've loved it, and yeah.
I want to wrap this up by, I know my camera's fucking up right now, but you guys can still hear me. So one thing that I really want, man, is away from all the beef and all the bullshit. Like you said, this is about the animals. And in this community, man, you got so many people who want to harp on somebody for their husbandry, or harp on somebody for this or that or whatever, and fucking throw dirt on people's name. But what we're not realizing, man, is the fucking government is banning reptiles in South Carolina, banning tegus. Fucking Florida's got iguana bans. We need to pull together for USR. Yeah, shipping bans.
Not only just for reptiles too. It's anything in and out.
We got to come together as a community, because there's a bigger fucking enemy out here than Chris Cersei. There's a bigger enemy out here than fucking, whatever person.
Chris Cersei's not the enemy, man. He's
no. That's not what I'm saying.
And again, the market's going to take care of that.
I know you're not. But I'm just saying, man. Like that.
The
real enemy is not an individual person. The real enemy is bigger than life. We got to fucking go after this as a group, or we're not going to succeed. We're not going to succeed.
And like I said, man, like MJ said it the best. It's all about the animals, man. And instead of jumping on people and jumping on individuals or whatever for whatever fuck up may happen, like, pull that motherfucker up from the trenches, and let's push forward together behind USARK and people that are allowing us to keep these fucking animals that we love so much and do what we're doing. And because without that, man, none of this even happens. We could sit and say what we want, but really, without the animals, without that, there is no podcast right here. There is none of this that we're doing right now, because it all falls behind these animals. And if they get taken from us, then we're fucked. And it's not one person's fault. We're all in this together. So, MJ, thank you. Zach, thank you. Much love to everybody. Next Friday, guys, we have Matt Gambrel from Olympus Reptiles gonna be on here next Friday. I love all you guys. Thank everyone for being here. Thank you, MJ, again. And
Can I do a couple shameless plugs before I leave real quick?
I was literally just going to interrupt you, Bradley. Hang on. I was going to say, let's see if MJ's got anything to plug.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say shout out to my sponsors, Cold Blooded Cafe, Sim
Yes.
Containers, fucking Focus Cube Habitats. Let's see, Freedom Breeder. Thank you so much, man. Team Jesse over at Freedom Breeder. And then make sure you go fucking follow my mentors, man. Always Evolving Pythons and Aussie Boyds. I mean, if you really want to look up to the real fucking business people that are really making the right impact in the ball python community, go fuck with Aussie Boys, go fuck with Miguel. And those aren't the only two, but those two right there in my world inspire me to the fullest. And good job tonight, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys have a wonderful night, man. Thank you.
Thanks, MJ. Love you, brother. We're out.
Good night, guys. Love you.